Some efforts will not produce what you expected. Accept this before beginning. Then failure loses some of its terror. The man who expects no setbacks is emotionally unprepared. The man who knows correction is part of building can recover faster. Recovery is power. Do not measure a man only by whether he falls. Measure how long he remains down. Get up faster. Learn faster. Return wiser. This is how uncertainty becomes less threatening. You begin trusting not that everything will work, but that you can respond when something does not. This is a deeper confidence. It cannot be taken by one failure. Build that confidence. Say, I do not need a guarantee that nothing will go wrong. I need the discipline to respond when it does. This is the mind of a builder. And once you adopt that mind, you begin seeing uncertainty differently. It is no longer a wall. It becomes the open territory where judgment, courage, and persistence must prove themselves. But courage alone will not be enough, because the longer you build without guarantees, the more you will be tested by silence, delayed reward, comparison, and the temptation to believe that because the structure is not yet complete, the work has been wasted. That is the next battle. You must learn how to keep building when the evidence is still small and the distance behind you feels greater than the progress ahead. They mistake silence for failure. They mistake delay for rejection. They mistake invisible progress for no progress at all. Do not make that mistake. A foundation does not announce itself every morning. A root does not prove its existence by demanding attention. Much of the strongest work happens before the result has language. You must learn to respect what is forming quietly. The impatient man needs constant evidence. The builder needs enough evidence to continue intelligently. There is a difference. If you require visible reward after every effort, you will become a servant to short-term results. You will keep choosing whatever pays quickly, praises quickly, grows quickly, and satisfies quickly. Then you may gain speed and lose depth. Do not let speed become your religion. Some things become valuable because they take time to mature. Judgment, trust, skill, character, reputation. These cannot always be rushed without becoming weak. A man who builds for permanence must become comfortable with stages that do not impress anyone. He must be willing to strengthen what cannot yet be displayed. This is difficult because the ego wants visible proof. It wants to point to something and say, see, I am moving. But some of your greatest movement may be happening in the man you are becoming. You think differently. You recover faster. You make better decisions. You waste less time. You no longer panic at the first obstacle. These are not minor changes. They are structural. Do not overlook internal improvement because it cannot yet be measured in money or recognition. The inner builder often arrives before the outer building. This is necessary. A weak man cannot safely carry a strong structure. Therefore, if the external result is slow but the internal man is becoming stronger, the work is not wasted. Continue, but continue with intelligence. Do not use patience as an excuse to avoid measurement. The builder must still inspect the wall. He must ask whether the stones are being placed correctly. You must do the same. Is your skill improving? Is your work becoming more useful? Is your judgment sharper? Are mistakes decreasing? Are opportunities increasing even slightly? Is your ability to create value becoming stronger? Look for evidence in the causes. The final result may still be far away, but the causes should be improving. If nothing is improving, examine the method. Do not become emotionally loyal to a plan that facts have outgrown. Your purpose may remain. Your method may need correction. This is where many men confuse persistence with repetition. Persistence moves toward the aim. Repetition merely does the same thing again. Do not worship effort that produces no learning. Extract information. Every result is information. A small success says something. A failure says something. A delay says something. Ask what it says, then adjust. A builder who refuses to learn from the structure eventually wastes material. Do not waste your years. Learn while building. This is one of the greatest advantages uncertainty can give you. It forces thought. A guaranteed road would require less judgment. An uncertain road develops it. You begin observing more carefully. You become less easily fooled by appearances. You learn which risks are worth taking and which are only disguised impatience. This is mental wealth. Do not resent the lesson. Use it. The longer the road, the more accurately you must think about comparison. Comparison becomes dangerous when your progress is slow. Another man appears to move faster. Another structure rises more quickly. Another name is recognized sooner. Then you begin questioning your own road. Be careful. You do not know what another man is building upon. You do not know the debt beneath his appearance. You do not know the support behind his speed. You do not know whether what rises quickly will stand. Study principle. Do not worship pace. If another man is disciplined, learn discipline. If he creates value, study value. If he thinks accurately, study thought. But do not borrow his clock. Your road has different conditions. Your responsibility is not to arrive before everyone else. It is to build something worthy of arriving with. This thought protects peace. Comparison steals energy because it makes you fight a race you never consciously chose. Do not run every race. Choose yours. Then run it with dignity. The man who constantly changes pace according to another person will eventually lose his own rhythm. Rhythm matters. A sustainable pace builds more than occasional bursts followed by exhaustion. Find the pace you can repeat. Then repeat it. This is not permission to become lazy. It is permission to stop confusing strain with progress. A builder who works beyond judgment makes mistakes. A builder who never works enough finishes nothing. Find disciplined rhythm. Work. Rest intelligently. Return. This creates endurance. Endurance is essential when life gives no guarantee. You cannot depend upon constant excitement. Excitement is a visitor. Discipline lives in the house. Build the house. There will be days when the work feels alive. Use them. There will be days when the work feels plain. Use them too. Do not let emotional weather govern the construction schedule. The wall does not care whether you feel inspired. The stone still needs placing. This is not coldness. It is commitment. The committed man can feel doubt and continue. He can feel boredom and continue. He can feel tired and adjust without surrendering. This is a different level of strength. You do not need to feel unstoppable. You need to remain available for the next duty. That is enough. The next duty is often smaller than the whole fear. Fear says, what if this never works? The next duty says, complete this. Fear says, what if you waste years? The next duty says, learn this skill. Fear speaks about everything. Duty speaks about now. Listen to duty. The future is often too large for the nervous mind. Break it down. What can you do today that would still be valuable even if the final outcome changes? This is a powerful question. Knowledge remains valuable. Discipline remains valuable. Skill remains valuable. Trust remains valuable. Build assets that survive uncertainty. Then, even if one plan changes, the effort is not lost. This is intelligent construction. Do not build a future that depends upon one fragile outcome. Build capacity while pursuing the outcome. Then you win in more than one way. If the plan succeeds, you are prepared. If the plan changes, you are stronger. This reduces fear. The man most afraid of uncertainty is often the man who believes one failure would erase everything. Do not build that way. Make every season produce something. If money does not come yet, let skill increase. If recognition delays, let quality increase. If opportunity closes, let judgment increase. Harvest something. This turns waiting into development. And development is never empty. But there is another enemy during long uncertainty: resentment. A man begins believing life owes him because he has worked. He says, "I have sacrificed. Where is my reward?" Be careful with this spirit. Effort does not place the universe in your debt. It improves probability. It builds capacity. It creates value. But no honest man can demand that every effort produce exactly the reward he imagined. Sometimes the work teaches before it pays. Sometimes it prepares you for another road. Sometimes the first structure must be abandoned because it revealed how to build the second. Do not become bitter toward instruction. You may not receive the reward in the form you expected. Remain alert. A lesson can be a return. A connection can be a return. A reputation can be a return. This does not mean accepting endless failure as success. It means understanding that value can arrive in stages. Think broadly. Then decide whether to continue. Do not let resentment make the decision. Resentment narrows judgment. It says, "After all I have done, I deserve this." Perhaps. But deserving and receiving are not always synchronized. Continue building what creates real value. Let value strengthen your position. A builder must be stronger than his sense of entitlement. Entitlement makes correction difficult. It says, "The world should adapt to me." Character says, "What must I improve?" Choose character. The question, "What must I improve?" keeps power in your hands. The question, "Why has no one rewarded me?" often gives power away. This does not mean tolerating injustice forever. Address unfairness where action is possible. Negotiate. Move. Change the arrangement. But do not build your entire identity around being wronged. That becomes another prison. Return to construction. What can still be built? This question is one of the great rescuers of the human spirit. Loss happens. A plan fails. A door closes. What can still be built? As long as you can answer that question, defeat is not complete. You may have less. Build with less. You may have learned late. Build with what you know now. You may need to start again. Then start again with experience. The man who can rebuild is dangerous to misfortune. He does not need every structure to survive forever. He carries the builder within. This is deeper security. Build the builder. This should become your hidden goal beneath every visible goal. Not merely to succeed once, to become capable of creating again. The man who creates one fortune by accident may remain fragile. The man who learns how value is built can recover. This is why the process matters. Do not resent it. The process is teaching the source. You think you are building a business. Perhaps the business is also building judgment. You think you are building a career. Perhaps the work is building discipline. You think you are building wealth. Perhaps the road is building patience, courage, and the ability to recognize opportunity. These are transferable assets. Take them seriously. A strong man is never reduced entirely to the condition around him because he carries productive force inside. This is what you are trying to become, a source, not merely a recipient. Uncertainty is less frightening to a source because a source knows how to begin again. If one field dries, he studies another. If one method fails, he adjusts. If one season closes, he does not assume life is over. He looks for where value can be created next. Develop that habit now. Ask questions that produce movement. What can I create? What can I improve? What can I learn? These are builder questions. The victim asks, why is this happening? The builder asks, what can be made from this? Do not become careless with compassion. Some circumstances are genuinely hard. Acknowledge them. Then build what can be built. You do not need to deny pain to refuse paralysis. Both can be true. This is difficult, and I will continue. This sentence contains courage. You do not need to pretend everything is fine. You need to decide that difficulty will not receive absolute control. This is more honest than false positivity. The builder sees the storm. He protects the structure. Then he returns when the weather clears. He does not stand in the rain declaring there is no storm. He also does not burn the plans because the storm arrived. Learn this balance. Sometimes building means advancing. Sometimes it means protecting what has already been built. This too is progress. A business preserving cash during difficulty may be building survival. A man reducing expenses may be building freedom. A season of consolidation is not necessarily stagnation. Ask what the season requires. Do not demand that every season look like expansion. Some seasons strengthen. Some seasons expose. Some seasons prepare. Use each one. This is how you remain steady without becoming rigid. The man who knows only how to expand may destroy himself during contraction. Learn multiple forms of progress. Forward movement is not always larger. Sometimes it is stronger. Sometimes it is clearer. Sometimes it is more efficient. Sometimes it is simply not abandoning the structure. Measure wisely. This protects morale. If you judge every day only by final reward, most days will feel empty. Judge some days by whether you kept the standard. Did you show up? Did you learn? Did you correct? Did you preserve the cause? These victories matter. They keep the chain alive. And the chain of right causes kept long enough creates possibilities that one dramatic effort cannot. Do not become addicted to dramatic effort. Quiet consistency is stronger. The man who needs